All right, we are now live. Hi, everybody. Katie Harris, owner and CEO of Nursepreneurs, and today we're talking about the e-commerce store inside of our NOLA platform, the base of which is high level, go high level if you've heard of that. But we have made it our own, made it great for nurses. So very excited to share what we're going to do today. So the e-commerce store is one of the more exciting features, and they did just update it recently so that you can have multiple stores. This was a colossal pain previously, but now that's all been fixed, and I'm very happy that we can go through multiple stores in the same sub-account, because it was painful before and now it's not. So all right, so Ira is pulling up hers. So this is this the demo account? All right, so what we're going to do is start with creating the store first and foremost, and then I will show you inside Philly Wellness Center how I have it set up and what it looks like and all that kind of good stuff. So in order to start a store, in the left-hand column, in the blue left-hand column, we're scrolling down to Sites, which Ira's pointing out there. And then at the top, you can see this is where, all of your stuff is for funnels and websites. And there's a section called Stores. So it's pretty straightforward, no trickery here. So you're going to click on Stores and you come to this page, which is basically empty. So what we're going to do is add a new store. And we'll show you how we can create a store pretty fast. Now you can do it from blank. I find that very difficult. I like to create from templates because I'm not an artistic person, so I need something there. And these are the stores. All of the pages are built out, so you don't have to think about, do I need to include this or that or the other thing? Everything is built out. So let's filter these for health stores. So when you type in the search bar health, there's already these pre-made ones. There's also, I think, med spa in there. Is there a med spa? Or that's more of a website. What's in there? Skincare. Do skin. All right, so these are skincare. So if you have a skincare line, you can create a store for your skincare line that you sell. Now I do this for skincare because I sell the Epicutis. And I also do peptides. So I have a peptide store that I'm building. And you will see when we look at Philly Wellness Center that this is the exact template that I used. And you'll see how that works. So let's go ahead and continue with this one. So you can see how fast it creates it. It's taking the template and putting it inside of your store. And before we create this, if you want to go back, and it'll show you how many pages. So that one template created these 7 pages, right? So there's a home page, yes. There's an about page, there's the pages that are very specific to store that don't come up with if you just did a website is the product list, the product details, the cart, the checkout, the thank you. This allows people to put multiple things in a cart, right? So you can certainly have checkout anywhere. But to put things into a cart is a special feature of having a store. That's why you would use this. So if you want people to be able to put multiple things into a cart and pay for everything all at once, as opposed to one thing at a time, then a store is the right move to make. Now, out of all of these, if this is a standalone store, you might want to have an about page, but I typically either convert the about page to something else, or, because my website does all that stuff, I don't see the need to have an about page, but you can keep it, you cannot keep it, it doesn't matter. And you can clone any one of these pages. I wouldn't clone the product list or details. I would clone either the home page or the about page if you want additional pages for whatever reason. And I did do that for my peptides. Like I cloned a lot of pages so that I could explain each peptide. So if you have that need, you can do that. The product details does offer an opportunity for you to put some details about each product that we'll get to. But when we'll go through this, we'll show you how to fix up the pages, what it looks like for the products, and then I'll show you a final working store. So let's go into home page. So inside the home page, this is just like every other website in this platform. You change out the images, you can change out the colors, you change out the words, the videos, the testimonials, your frequently asked questions, all of that kind of stuff. And that's, as you can see, Ira is changing the color of this, so you can put your brand colors. All of that kind of stuff is easily accessible from that dashboard on the right. And this is the easy part. So, putting all that in there is pretty straightforward. So if you want to go up to the top there, so the navigation bar, obviously you're going to change out the logo off to the left side. And then where Ira is, that's the navigation bar, and that's your home, about, and all the different pages that you have. So if you have a contact page, all of that is in there. So if you scroll up, yep. So there's the menu items. So those menu items are what is in the navigation bar. And so actually, I gotta make my screen bigger because I can't see what you're doing. All right. So for the home page, if you go to home page and edit that, like what you just did. So go to home, edit. You're going to do the go to, which is go to page. But there's other options there. So if you want them to go to your website, can you do click that down and show them the different options that exist. So if you click on that, you can see all the different options that are available. So you could have people go to a URL if you want them to go to your website, but the easiest thing is just to go to page. So if we select go to page, and then every time somebody selects that, then they can go to page. And then you're just going to hit submit. And there's the option too there, obviously, to open in a new tab if you want to. And you would just go through and you're going to have to edit all of them so that they connect with the right page. So if you go into about, let's say you want the about page to go to shop for whatever reason, like you can change it however you want. You can select whatever page you want people to go to. If you want them to go straight to the products list, if it makes sense. But typically, your about page should go to the about page. That makes sense. But like if you're tweaking things and changing things around, just make sure you're sending them to the right page. Now, the other thing that you can do in this menu bar is let's say you wanted the about page for whatever reason to be under the home page. What you do is you go and you use those little buttons and you pick them up and you indent it under home. So if you pick it up and just put it under home, is it under there now?
Yes.
Okay. So when you go into the navigation bar on the top, you can see the drop down now has the about page. So there's not an about page in the navigation. It's a sub navigation menu item. So I did this, and you'll see it in my, and you can put it back if you want to, as well as Ira just did. So you can move it in, move it out. I did this with the peptides. So I have in my navigation bar the word peptides, and then the sub navigation is like a bunch of different peptides that I have. So that's what Ira is bringing up here. So I have all peptides and peptides by concern in the navigation. So that's how I wanted to do that. All right. And then for, you can, to the right in the navigation menu, there's show cart icon. So you can see that. If you don't want that there, you can take it off. If you don't want to show the search bar, or you do want to show the search bar, they can search for things there, or you can toggle that off. You can change the font size. So if you want it to be bigger, you want it to be like 20 or whatever, it makes the navigation bar bigger. So all those features exist. And then if you want to add something, let's say you want a, I don't know, add, God, I can't think of anything. Let's say you want a bottle page or something. You can add an item into the navigation bar by selecting Add Item. And that brings up a new menu, so you can add your new page, whatever that is. There you go, testimonial page. And right now, because a testimonial page doesn't exist in your backend, you could just leave it like this until you create it. Otherwise, you would hit the Go To page and select the testimonial page when it exists. So in this case, I would say just Go To page, and let's say it's, let's send them to the About page or something. You can change the color of the, depending on your brand, you can certainly change the color of the navigation bar. So that's green. Now it's light green. That's probably not a good color. Red, whatever you want to do to make it look like your brand. You can change that there. You can certainly change the font if you want to do that. If you want to underline it, you can do that. There's lots of fun things that you can do. And then the cart has its own separate, if you want to change the cart icon color, or whatever case you want. All right, so that is pretty much it there for the buttons. You would like to, the button actions, you can go to, so here's an About Us. This is an example of how you would use About Us. So you could link to, Go To page and then hit the About page, and then it'll go to the About page. If you want them to go to the products list, so they can see all the products, whatever you want the button to do. If you want it to go to a website, you can do that as well. But the most logical thing to do is to send them to, obviously you want people to buy things. So that's what we're going to talk about next. So I think we can come out of here because that's pretty straightforward. And if you have questions or whatever about building out the home or about, that is all part of the websites that we did, because it's just a straightforward website. So you can watch our videos on websites or funnels. Can you go back to the, no, yeah, there we go. So the things that you need to fix are the product list, the product details, cart, and checkout. These are very specific to having a store. So, and these, some of these are not intuitive, so that's why I want to go over this. So when you pull up the products list, so that's where we are here. It has that feature image, so you can change those images there. So there's a slide deck, or you can delete the whole thing, right? So if you don't want that, you can delete items, you can add slides, you can do whatever you want here. But you could add in the images from right there. And then scroll down. These images, obviously, these are placeholder images. Okay, so the products themselves come from your product lists inside of payments. And we're going to do that in a second before you go there. But all of your products are going to show up here. But when you're working in this platform, these are never going to change. Okay, these are defaulted based on the products that you select to go into this particular store. So you just have to get over that this is what this page is going to look like. But when you preview the page, it's going to be the products that you have listed for the store. And we'll show you that in a minute. But if you want to go down, scroll down to the right, there's a number of products per page. So under layout options down below, there's number of products per page. So if you don't want to have, because if you scroll into the middle one, you can see there's 5 pages in this product list, and that might be a lot, right? Scroll down. So you can see we're on page 1 of 5, right? So that might be a lot of pages for people to have to go through, or maybe you want that, whatever the case may be, but you can have you can have lots of products on this page. And it'll scroll down. So if you scroll down, now there's, lots of pages. And then you can increase the number of columns. I wouldn't probably do too many than, because you can see it's starting to get a little like messy. It's harder to see. It's a little more overwhelming. So I think like having 3, maybe 4 columns at the most is probably ideal. Now, for my peptides, I did something a little bit different. I think I did do 5 columns across, but they're little vials and it's not terribly interesting to look at them. But if you have like products that you really want people to see, then it's better to do fewer columns. All right, so let's show them how to get the products in there. So now you're going to come to this payment section. So on the left hand, the blue side of the column is payments. And then at the top, there's something called products, all the way to the right where Ira is pointing. And these products they're worth building out and putting all the information that is required. So, basically we have 5 products that are in here. So if you click on one of the things that you would do is this include an online store. This is by default. Okay. So one of the annoying things I found was that because it's defaulted, a lot of times I forget to toggle it off. But if you forget to toggle it off, whatever you put there is going to end up in your online store. So you just have to be very careful if you don't want it in your inline store or your online store to toggle that off because it's on by default. Now, you want to give your product a name. So, we have product 1 here, which is, not terribly descriptive, but, if you have, let's say it's a GHKCU cream, okay, or, a peptide cream, then this is your opportunity in the next field to write a description, and that whatever you write here is going to pop up in the store. So put something that is helpful for people who are trying to decide if they want to buy this product or not. Then the media, you definitely want to put a picture here because again, in the product itself, it's going to show this image, and you can upload as many images as you want. If you want to upload 10 different images of the product, you can do that. So is it possible to upload a couple? All right, so this goes to your media storage, and we're going to upload a couple images. It doesn't matter what they are. You can use those too. Okay, cool. So that is labeled as your featured image. That is going to be the main image that we'll show you in a minute. If you don't want that to be the featured image, we can change it. That's not a problem. But if you want to add like 2 more pictures, we can do that. And you can just add whatever images are in the media storage file. Okay, so here you can see that a button is next to it. So if you want the second photo to be the featured image, then you would just click that button, and now that would become the featured image. So you would upload all the files that you want included here. And then what is the enable product label? What does that mean?
The product label will be added on the store.
Okay, let's add sale so we can see what it looks like when we get to the And then it looks like there's a visibility. So let's say it's a Father's Day sale, right? You could have this product label featured for a certain amount of time, like from now until June 20th or something. I don't even know when Father's Day is. This is completely optional. You don't have to do this. I don't actually use enable product label at all, but maybe I will. I'll have to see. Now, the next one is product collection. If you have collections of stuff that you want to keep organized, you can certainly do that. You can add a collection. Maybe it's your Gucci collection or your Versace collection or whatever the case may be. You don't have to. You can add a tax category. So if you collect tax, you can add that here, and you can have it include tax prices in if you need to collect tax. And then down below, you're just going to put your price point. And if you have something that has variants, you can add variants. So for instance, let's say you sell t-shirts, right? You can add a variant, which would be, let's say, small, medium, and large. Or, the example here is black or yellow, right? Do you want the 1 ounce or the 5 ounce, right? So you can add in different options. So if we could add in, let's do black and yellow like they have. So if they want it in black, oh yeah, the option name is black and then yellow. But those are the options. Okay. So they can choose that. If you want to add in a size like small, medium, large, you can add that. You can change it based on price. Maybe the black is $5.99, the yellow is $6.99, and the blue is $7.99. For whatever reason. And then you can also it will track inventory. So if you only have 3 black ones, 2 yellows, and 1 blue, you can add those in as well. But you have to set up inventory first. All right, and then you can add SEO, especially if this is a standalone store and you want people to follow. You can give it a title and then an SEO description, and you might want to fix the handle so it has the words of your store inside of it as well. So you can change that to your, like your Epicurus store or your peptide store, right? Exactly. And then that's it. We save, and now we can go back to the store. So we're going to go back to here. We got to save this. You always have to save. Like if you do something and then come back to this page and you can't find it, it's because you didn't save it. And then if you refresh the page, we should be able to preview it, and we'll see our products listed inside of our product list. So there's product 1, 2, 3, and our peptide. So that was our featured image. So you can see how important the featured image is, right? Like you want to have something really good. Now, if you click into that, it should take us to the product itself. So this is the next page that we're going to work on. So you can see there's our 2 different pictures. And if you have 10 pictures, all 10 pictures will come up here. And you can see this is a $5.99. You can get the black version of it. You can get the quantity if you want to order like 20 of them or whatever the case may be. And then your product description is that lorem ipsum right below. And this is all done automatically. So it's all created inside products. So if you want to change this text, you have to go back to products and change the text from there. You cannot change it from here. You can change the color of the button, and we can do that, but we need to go to the actual page to do that. So now that's product details. So when you go into product details, and you're going to edit this one, this is a global feature. So every product is going to have the same features. You can't have like a blue button with one product and a red button with another product. This is for all of the items that you have. So from here, there's color options, and the blue, there's the blue. We can change that to red. Now your add to cart is a different color. So you can just make that your brand color, whatever you want. And that's it. Then they can add those to cart, and then they can keep shopping. So that would be the next page that you're going to do is and Ira just showed you a special feature that pay up at the top. There is a click down menu, and you can choose whichever page you want to toggle in and out of. So now we're in the cart page, and this is what their final page would look like, right? So these are the items that they have in their cart. And again, we can change the checkout button so that it looks, so it's all really branded and well done. And so then they can adjust how many items they have. They'll see the total cost. If you added tax would be here as well. There we go. They can continue shopping as well, which is also a really, really nice feature. We got to turn that pop-off off. We'll show you how to do that in a minute. But all right, so that would be the whole experience, and then they can check out, and you can see there's the cart there as well. There's 3 items in the cart. If they want to check out, the next thing they're going to go to is the checkout page, and that's pretty straightforward. There's not usually too much to fix here, and that's it. And they'll get a thank you message from there. If they have coupons, if you have a coupon, that's something else you can build inside of payments. So you would go to payments, and then there's a section called coupons, and you can add a coupon. So you just create a coupon. You give it a name. Let's say it's Father's Day. Then you create the code. If you generate a code, you can generate a code, or you can just say Dad's 25 or something, right? And that would be the coupon code that they use. They'll just do Dad 25 or something. That would be what they use to get the discount. So it can either be a percentage, like 10%, or whatever, or you can do a fixed coupon and just give them $10 off. And then down at the bottom, you have to do the start date. So if you wanted to start today, you don't have to have an end date. But if you only want it to go until June 30th or something, you could set that. And then the other features here are limit the total number of times the coupon can be redeemed. So if you only want one person to use it one time, then you just put 1. If you don't care, then you can leave it blank. You can limit the coupon to select offers, because otherwise they could use that coupon across your entire site. Or if you just want one item to be on sale, you can limit to 1 use per customer. And if let's say you have a subscription, right? Like let's say you're selling semi-glue Tide, $2.50 a month. Do you want them to get $10 off every single month forever? Or do you just want it to be multiple months? Let's say for 6 months, they get $10 off. So you can do that. And then when they do the subscription, they will get, when they check out, they can use that code, and it'll automatically calculate the price. All right. And this might be a case of we needed to refresh the page prior to doing that, but maybe it'll. There you go. Now we have $10 off. And that's it. And that's how easy it is actually to put your store together. So, if you have all your stuff, like what products you're going to use, you have pictures and descriptions of them. I mean, that's really the hardest part. Putting them into the system, if you have all those things, can take you less than an hour. And I certainly have put my stores together fairly quickly and easily without any issues. Now, can you go back to the main? Yes. So if you go to products, in the top, yep, right there, you can include or exclude products from the store. And I've done this because I have two different stores. I have a skincare line store, and then I have a peptide store. And I only want my Epicutis products in my Epicutis store, and I only want the peptides in the peptide store. So what I've done, let's say we just want, the peptide in this. Let's say this is our peptide store. So we could choose those 4, and then the bulk action would be to exclude from this store. So we would exclude them, and now you can see only 1 product is in this store, and there's 4 that are excluded. So that's how you can do multiple stores. So if you wanted to have 10 different stores that sold, 10 different stuff, or you can include some of the stuff. There could be overlap if you want that, or you can completely exclude products from this store. So this is a huge upgrade feature that makes it possible to have multiple stores. And I was very thankful for it because I do have 2 different stores, and it was a colossal pain in the butt. Because you could have multiple stores, but all the same products in the store. Now you can have whatever products you want in whatever store you want. So that's a really great feature. Now, if you want to go to Philly Wellness Center, I can show them the 2 stores that I have. So in the back end, I obviously have several stores here, but the 2 ones that I'm working on, one is Epicutis, that one's finished. So if you click on that one, this is the skincare line. And if you want to preview that, and you'll recognize this template. So this is the Epicutis store. This is the same template that we were just using. I even kept the video because it fit. I changed out the branding colors. So aside from the video, you would never know that this template was the same template you just saw. I did the frequently asked questions, and there's a lot of shop now options. So you can go to shop now. And when you go to shop now, there's the products. So there's at the top is the scrolling up. See that stupid prodrome series. So this is what I mean. I forgot to exclude that from my store. So we can go to product, but no, just go to products. And go to products, yeah. Epicutis, products, and exclude the prodrome series. Okay. And when you refresh that, it should be gone. Yep, there we go. So now that's gone. And then as you scroll down, these are all my featured image pictures of the different Epicutis products. And if you click into any of them, you can see that there's additional images, the price is there. If they want to buy some, or if they want to buy multiple ones, they can do that. And then the description of what it is. So if you go ahead and add to cart, you can continue shopping. So let's say you want to get, the travel set, and you purchase that, and you can add to cart as well. You can see the different images, you can see what's in it, and then you can view cart. And then you can check out. So if you go ahead and check out, we should be able to use PWC if I did the coupon properly. So let's add our coupon and apply. And there you go. You got the discount was removed. You get 15% off. You just have to put your name and shipping details in there, and that's it. So then you can pay with your regular credit card. There's Amazon Pay, there's Google Pay, and based on your Stripe connection, there might be other options too, like Klarna or different options, and that all depends on your Stripe settings. It has nothing to do with this. You can't force it in here. You have to turn it on inside of Stripe. Now, if you want to return to my website, I put that feature into the navigation bar, and that's going to take you to my actual website. So that's the Philly Wellness Center website. So if you do the back button, it'll take us back. Oh, there's our Epicurious. So right there, if you click shop here, that should take us back to the website, the Epicurious website. And it does not, so I need to fix that. But up in the top navigation, it says shop. Does that take us back to Epicurious? It does not. Okay, well, always something. All right, well, let's go back to NOLA. And then if you want to go to the peptides website, let's do that one. And I'll just show you what I did slightly different. Now you can see there are 32 pages in this website. It is a very large website because I'm building out all the different peptides. Okay, so product list, product details, cart, checkout, thank you. Those I don't touch other than, just to change out some of the colors and stuff. But the rest of the stuff, I built out like a regular website. So if you want to click on one of those websites, yep, preview. So, what it's doing is just explaining what the different peptide does, best use, what it works well with, where it's contraindicated, and then there's FAQs, and that's it. So. And then they can just buy now. So if you click on buy now, it takes you to the product list page, right? So this is where I said, I have 5 across and a lot going down because I didn't want like 50 pages of products, especially when they're just that little vial. Stupid Prodrome series again. So the different products are within here. So now you only have 2 pages to get through. And these are in alphabetical order, which you can also do inside of when you're building these out. And you can see at the top, again, the peptide drop down is so that you can follow by peptide or by concern. I haven't built those pages out quite yet. So they keep going back to kind of like the same page. So that is how I'm doing the peptide store, and then people can buy. So if you try, I don't know if I built it out enough, but I think you can go to, if you do the AOD, you can add as many as you want. There's a description of what it does. I mean, it's just a vial, so I didn't feel the need to put in multiple ones. You can continue shopping, or you can view the cart. And then when you view cart, you can see I changed out the color so that it's, orange. They can check out now. They put all their information. And that's it. If there's a coupon code, they can do that. Now, the last piece to this that is if somebody purchases. So I do have an inventory. Where did I set up? I set that up in payments, right? Yeah, so there's an inventory. So under payments and under products, there's a section called inventory. And then you can go in if you want and add a number of, let's say you only have 10 of each, right? Or whatever the case. You can continue to sell when out of stock, right? Which is important. You just have to, you can alert yourself when you're out of stock and that you're going to need to order more, or when it gets to, I don't know, 2, you can send yourself a notification to order more of something. So that's really important. And the other feature inside of products that I think is nice is the reviews. And that is a new feature as well. So people can leave reviews. That is set up inside of, which section is that set up? Which page?
This one, let me quickly. Okay, I believe here, let me quickly click on edit, and here for
So I know
store.
I saw it off to the right. I'm just not, I think it's under product list. Go to the back end and go to products list. So here we're going to the page called products list. No, the products list page. And we're going to edit this inside products list. And what you're going to do, and it might be the other page, but go to the right side and scroll down. Click, there you go. So when you have to click into the products, right? So that orange box that's surrounding the products, when you click that, then your options show up. And there's a section that says show reviews and ratings. So if you want to show reviews and ratings, you just toggle that on. And if you want, you can turn off ratings count, you can turn it on, these are the options that you have. So you can put those there. You can obviously change the colors of, can you turn that on? You can change the colors of the text. You can change the colors of the stars, whatever you want. And people can leave a review inside the next section, which is the product detail. So if you go to product details, and click in that box, or there's another option to show it. There it is. So write a review. So people can write a review right from this section. And then you can also send people an automation to write a review as well. So that is something that can be done. So those are the options. So once you've built out the store, your next option is, the next thing that you're going to want to do is set up automations. One, to alert you when somebody's actually purchased something. 2, for inventory control. And 3, to send people a review. Let's show them how to turn off that pop-up because it's really annoying.
Yes.
So the pop-up section is at the top, right? And sometimes the pop-up is really helpful, and it's great if you want to have a discount, but it's also really annoying, especially when you are trying to work like this. So you want to go to, so Ira clicked the pop-up settings at the top, and then you click the pop-up settings, go to pop-up settings, yeah. And then on the right-hand side, it says disable pop-up. So if you toggle over to disable pop-up and save that, it should stop. I don't know if that does it for all the pages, but it'll do it for that page so that the pop-up doesn't keep coming.
It needs to be edited on each page if there's a pop-up set
It
up.
has to be edited, yeah. So each page has to be edited separately, which is also annoying. So before you start cloning like 20 pages, like I did with my peptide thing, make sure the page is exactly the way that you want it before you start cloning, because otherwise you have to go in and fix everything. And to that extent, to that point, your header and footer need to be set up properly. So your footer, where Ira is right now, if you click into the footer, everything that you change in the footer is going to change across the website, right? Because that is a global feature of the website. So here you see how the box is like almost a purple. It's a gray purple. That is a global feature. So every single page in the website has the same footer, and if you make changes to this footer, it makes changes to every single page. So that's what that gold, that like purplish gray looks like. So if you add something or change it, it's going to change everywhere. Yeah. And you can see as she's going through, there's different box colors, and they're all really important. So the orange, the purple, the blue, and the green, and then the blue purple. And that's just the structure of Gutenberg blocks, and it's an easy way to build do-it-yourself websites. All right, and then for the header, the product pages have different header, right? So if you can see there's not a purple gray box. There's only a green box is the highest level.
Let me quickly add padding so we can show them that our header is also in the global section.
Okay, there it is, the global section. So if you make changes in the green box, which is the next level down, inside the header, yeah, will that make changes to everything as well?
Okay,
yeah, so that's your global header. Okay.
Yes, this is a global header. So automatically, when they make changes, it will be applied across all the pages on the store. But please note that if it is on a green box like this one, so that means that it will only reflect, the changes will only reflect on the page that you made a modification.
Right. Now, if you want to make a global header, you can always do that. So there's always a plus sign, right? So you have to get to the box that's, that purple color, and then hit the plus sign, and then, yep. And then you can add whatever you want, and then you can create that. You can save it. Save the section, and then add to global sections, and then save. Now you can see that's a purple box. So that becomes a global section. So if you wanted to add something to every single page, this is now global. And that would exist on every single page in the website. If you just wanted to be on this specific page, then you would use the green box instead of this global section. So you just have to be careful of what you're choosing. So if you hit, if you want to create a green section real fast, so that's a purple section. There you go. So now we have a green section. This will only reflect on this page, whereas the gold section, that purple section it's a dark purple. That will reflect across all pages. Just a green section will only reflect on this page. And that's it. All right. And then I guess if you just want to go to automations real fast, we can go over a couple automations. All right, so you can create a workflow inside of here, start from scratch, or you can select a recipe. It's easier, I think, to start from scratch with this. And this is something that you want to think about and put some thought into how you're going to, what is it that you want the system to tell you, right? Do you want somebody every time they abandon a cart? Do you want every time they purchase something? Do you want to know when inventory is low? So you want to name your workflow appropriately. Let's do notify of new sale, or okay, new purchase. That's good. So the trigger is going to be when somebody purchases from the cart, right? So we have, you have to find the right trigger. And here we have, these are the options. So we have order submitted. So if they do that, and then you're going to select a global product. The global product is peptide. So, and the status is, product order source is.
If they would like to be specific, like for instance, if this product is on the website and also on the store, so they have the option to filter the order source that they would like to get notified. Or
All right, well, let's do from store. Okay, and is there a store is?
Next here is product is, and then the variant of the product. If there's a specific that you would like to get notification, but if none, like either of the three products you want to get notified, you may just delete this specific filter.
Right. So now we have, the product is the peptide, the order source is the store. So we're going to save that trigger. And what the question is, what do you want to have happen next? Let's say you have an admin who fulfills this, or, somebody who on your team that does that. You could send a notification. There you go. And you're going to select, let's say we're going to send them an email. And let's give them some information, right? So you can select a specific user, or you can send it to everybody. We have new product purchase notification. Then if you want to put all the details, like the contact's name, their address, the product that they purchased, all of that information can go into this email. And you're going to use the custom values. Right. So can you go a little slow with what you're doing here? So you went into, where did you go into to get that? So for phone number, there's that little tag. You're going to click on the tag. You're going to click on contact. So the contact is the person who purchased, and that's their phone number. So it's going to, when they fill out the cart, that phone number, you asked for the phone number, it was required. So we have the phone number, so that person's phone number is going to go there. And then let's put their address. Gone back into custom values, and we're going to do their full address. And then is there something for what they purchased? Or email? Yep, we can do email as well.
For something that they purchase here, we have order, and then the order source, or there's also order total.
So that just tells you the price, but does it tell you how what they ordered specifically?
Let me see if there's option here. Oh, since we have this specific trigger, which is for that specific product, we can directly insert here the product name, which is the peptide. Because on our trigger, we are specific. We forgot to mention about the user type. So we need to select whether to send the notification to all users inside of their system, or to specific to assigned user, or to particular user. They may select the particular user here, or they may just insert custom email.
So the difference between a particular user and an assigned user is very distinct, right? So if I only want Ira to get this, then we would use particular user. if let's say you run a med spa and you have 3 different estheticians and one of them was assigned to that client, then you would use assigned user. So Ira wouldn't get the message every time. Whoever um, captured that appointment would get those emails. So it's a very different. I know you're like, what is the difference between an assigned user and a particular user? So that would be it. So if you have multiple team members, like in a round robin or something, and somebody's been assigned to that client, they would get these messages if you chose to sign, as opposed to there's only one person that is going to fulfill these orders, and that's Ira. So we always want the emails to go to Ira. Well, if you had multiple, you'd have to keep, if you wanted to add like different products, you would have to do different triggers for each product, correct?
Yes. So for instance, to easily identify, so we highly suggest renaming the workflow trigger. For instance, order submitted, and this one is peptide. And
Yeah,
then,
this is going to be annoying for me because I have like 50 peptides, so I don't want to have to do 50 triggers, but I guess I'm going to have to.
let me quickly refresh my system. Okay, going back here, so we should rename this as peptide. And then for the other product, so order submitted, and then let's select the other product that is inside of the store. So for instance, product number 2, and then the order source is from the store. Okay, so to be able to filter like on the internal notification, if they would like to easily identify what is the product that this contact purchase, so they can add here an condition, if else condition, and then here we will be selecting the triggers. So first workflow trigger is the peptide, and then let's quickly save so that let quickly rename this one so we can easily identify inside inside the workflow. Okay, so now our first condition or our first filter, the workflow trigger is the peptide, and then let's add another branch here. Sorry for that. Let's rename this first as peptide, and then let's add another branch which is for the product 2. So workflow trigger is product number 2. So here they can easily have the different paths for different triggers of the workflow. So they may just copy this one and then copy here, and then they can easily modify the content. So here, instead of peptide, they can have product 2.
Right. So this is a little cumbersome if you have a lot of products. So that's one of the things that hopefully GHL will change for us, because like I said, I have 50 peptides. I don't want to do this 50 times. There's got to be a better way to figure that out. So in that case, like I would, instead of doing all of this, if somebody bought something, how would I figure out what it is that they bought?
On what they bought, since we added here a condition, so here we have two triggers. So the our trigger is one who bought the peptide, and then the other one is who bought the product too. So having this kind of filter, the internal notification will be customized as well. So for the peptide, so once this user receive the notification, it will include the product name.
Right. But what I'm saying is, like, if somebody has like 50 items in their store, you're not going to do this 50 different times, right? Like, is
Yes.
there another way to see what somebody purchased aside from this way?
They will just have a general notification where the contact purchased a product from their store.
Right. But how
But
would we figure out, even
how
if
they
it's
could figure out, for instance, the list of the items that the client purchased, so they may just go to payments, and here we have here the transaction details.
okay? So then they would be able to see inside transactions what was purchased.
Okay, and there's also since we're doing store, so instead of another way is going to the order section.
Okay. And then obviously there's a new feature, which is abandoned checkouts. That would be another automation. So let's say somebody came, put like 5 products in their checkout, and then the baby started crying and they had to go deal with that. You could send automated emails to that person like, hey, finish your purchase. So that could be another workflow automation that would be worth setting up for this. And I think they have a recipe for that, don't they?
Let's check
Let's
here.
check it out. So I always like to go and there it is up at
This
the top.
one.
So yeah, it stores abandoned cart recovery email. So let's select that, and the automation is already built out for you. So the new trigger would be abandoned
Yes,
checkout.
abandoned checkout.
There it is. And it's asking you like, how long do you want to wait? Because if they, you don't want to send it and they're trying to buy it and they're getting emails like you abandon your cart, like give them 10 minutes or whatever the case may be, 30 minutes, and then you can add in another filter of like what to do.
If there's a specific filter here, but currently there's no filter for specific products, so this is a
Okay.
general abandoned checkout trigger.
All right, so you don't need, that's all you need is just the duration, like how
Yes.
long do you want the system to wait before they send the email. And then the email that goes out is just simply says, we noticed you left something in your cart.
And this is the sum. Let's quickly preview here. Kind of, let's
And that's a
quickly.
template, so you might have to do something.
I think it was not loaded by the system.
So
Let's
inside your email
just
marketing, there's,
go to the templates here.
there you go. Oh, that's a Shopify abandoned.
So this is how it will look like. So thanks for stopping by. This is the email that the client will receive.
Yeah, but you don't have to use this template. So, if you want to go in here, you can change that out, or you can just, put no template and then let's create your own and say, hey, so and so, we noticed that your cart was abandoned or whatever. I don't think that's the word you use, but and how do they get back to? You might need to do a trigger, right? Or no? Oh, there. So oh, you went to Shopify. Okay. And then it scroll down, it says abandoned checkout URL.
This one. So automatically it will populate once the lead receive this email. So we are using custom value. So can here and then click on the abandoned checkout URL.
And that'll take them back to where they were.
Yes. They will be on the checkout page. Okay, so just the subject here. and save the action.
And that's it. So there's, I mean, we went over a lot of stuff, but the first thing that you want to do is, have your whatever products you want to sell. So you're going to go to stores, choose a template, clean up the template so it reflects what you want to sell. You're going to add products into payment, and then go into the pages and make sure they look like what you want them to look like. Then you can come into notifications. Think about what it is that you want to be notified about, and anything you want to be notified about, then you have to think through that process of, like, what is it that you want to, what's going to happen that you need to know about, and then what do you want the system to tell you, and that's how you can do that. So there's some recipes that you can use to help you along with it. I really generally like to build things from scratch inside automations. I like my websites templated, but I like my automations to do from scratch, because there's always something that they add in there that's, unnecessary or confusing or whatever the case may be. So that's it. You just need to have your products, your images, your descriptions. And the 3 sections you're going to go to is sites for stores, payments for products, and automations to set that up. Those are the 3 things that you need in order to have a store. And you can literally, if you have the images, descriptions, you can literally launch this in an hour very quickly. So, all right, guys, that is it for stores. That's how you build out stores. That's how you can build out multiple stores. Remember, inside of sites under stores, there was that section that said products. So stores, here we go. Our skincare store. The products section will allow you to include or exclude products from the page. Last thing, settings. If you go to settings at the far end, you can change the name of the page. So if you want it to be called your peptide store, then you can change it. I would also, for SEO, just change the path. It's not necessary, but I do it. You obviously would have to connect it to a domain. So whatever your domain is, that's where you would add it. And then I would always add the chat widget as well. I like the chat widget because that way, we don't have a chat widget built on this, but if you do have a chat widget, make sure that is selected. So if people have questions while they're shopping, they can ask the chat widget. And then let's see, require credit card, image optimization, all that kind of good stuff. So all of that looks good. Nothing to do. And then the events, so you might be able to tell by events too, what people purchased or the sales. Oh, that's just Pixel ID. That's for Facebook and API conversion if you're doing all that.
It's for tracking.
But under sales and stats, you should also be able to see what people have purchased. So if you're like, oh my God, what did they buy? You can use this section to see what was purchased. And that's it. All right, so I would play around in there. If you have questions or need help, you can always connect with us. If it's looking like NOLA is something that you can use, this is a very, very robust system. If you only use the stores features of NOLA, it's worth it. It's $97 a month. I mean, Shopify is like the same price, and it doesn't have the other 6,000 things that our NOLA system does. So, there's calendars, there's conversations, chat widget, contacts, sales pipeline opportunities, the invoices, the payments, the websites, the funnels, the forms, the blogs, the surveys, the quizzes, the QR codes, the reputation management, the memberships, the courses, like all of these things. It's exhausting. So all that for $97 a month. And again, if you only use the store feature, it's absolutely worth it, especially with all the automation features that are pretty robust and unique to our system. So that is NOLA. And next week, we'll do another feature. You can see on our YouTube channel all the different features that we've gone over it with it, and you can follow along and build them yourself using our tutorials. So hope that this helps, and we look forward to working with you inside our NOLA system. Thanks, everybody.